Hello, good evening. My name is Vedam Jaishankar. Welcome to the first day's play in the fourth test between India and England at Ranchi. While I'd like to talk a bit about the test, what really I would really like to speak about is what is happening in the Indian ecosystem. There is a tremendous change which is going on in the Indian sporting fraternity. And this is the sign of a new India. But today I would like to talk a little more about the changes that are being wrapped up in cricket. The entire cricket ecosystem is undergoing a massive change, and it is reflected in this particular series between India and England when each match or each test match or each innings is bringing out fresh tidings and happy tidings for us. But first things first, it's very opportunist. I wouldn't say opportunistic. It's very opportune that the match is being played today. I'll tell you this for two reasons. The one, I'll come back to it a little later. Today is the first day of the WPL match, that is the Women's Premier League match, which is starting in Bangalore. Today is the first day for that. The second thing is the match is being played at Ranchi. This test match is being played at Ranchi. And we need to keep this in mind because in many ways, Ranchi is the harbinger of a new India. Of course, you all know that it is the home place or home city of one of the legends of Indian cricket, MS Dhoni. While dwelling on these two things, let me just tell you what happened today. England opted to bat first, made a final score of 302 for 7 at the end of the day's play in 90 overs. But what really shook up the entire cricket establishment all happened in the morning when England, batting first, lost 3 wickets in a jiffy. Absolutely in a jiffy. They were 5 down for 112 at lunch, struggling. And the man who got those 3 early wickets was none other than debutant Akash. To those who are not conversant enough or intimate enough with cricket, let me tell you that Akash is from Bihar. He's a small town in Bihar. His father was a school teacher. His father didn't want him to play cricket. He went away to Bengal, to Durgapur, to stay with his uncle and play a little bit of tennis ball cricket there. It's later that his father suffered a stroke and passed away. Within 6 months, his brother too passed away, leaving Akash the sole breadwinner for a family where he also had 2 sisters, a mother and 2 sisters. What Akash did was he was playing a lot of tennis ball cricket in Durgapur. He was playing as a professional, maybe making about 20,000 rupees a month. That was it. He got his chance when he moved over to Calcutta and played league cricket. And within a year or two, he was there in the Bengal under 23 team and then moved on to the Ranji Trophy team. When somebody spotted him and said that he has to play, and then he got in, and then the rest is history. Akashdeep, meantime, was a nets bowler for RCB. Finally, RCB roped him into the team when Washington Sundar got injured. So he was there and they're playing 15. And then later he moved into the RCB main team where he played a few matches. But otherwise, Akashdeep is a relatively less known Indian cricketer coming from one of the remote areas of India. When I say remote areas of India, I'm talking about the town that he came in, that is in Bihar, and not, of course, from Calcutta. Calcutta or Bengal is for whom he played Ranji Trophy. But why I bring this out here? It's very interesting. Because there was a time when Indian cricket was all about Mumbai. They used to say that many people are not good enough to play for Bombay, but they were good enough to play for India. Which means you are the 13th and 14th man in Mumbai and you end up playing in the Indian team. Now you might wonder what is happening. Like most of us would when somebody who is not good enough to play for his state plays for a country. But then we must also understand the ecosystem which was there. Cricket those days was completely dominated by Bombay. The captains were from Bombay, the selectors were from Bombay. The whole entire cricket ecosystem revolved around Bombay. And then, of course, they used to have one or two players from, let's say, Calcutta or Chennai, that was Madras, or Bangalore, or maybe Hyderabad. It was like a quota system. They would be there to make up the numbers, three or four of them. The rest would all be from Bombay. That's how it was. And even later, when Bombay lost that preeminent status, you still had some outstanding cricketers coming from Bombay. There's no doubt about it. Whether it was Sachin Tendulkar or Sunil Gavaskar or Dilip Vengsarkar, some outstanding cricketers came from Bombay. But along with them, more than couple of ordinary cricketers were also sneaked into the team. That was the tragedy. But what has changed actually? What has changed? Why has Indian cricket become so competitive and so efficient and throwing up such huge talent? For this, we must go back. We must go back to 2008 when the IPL was introduced. Now, this is what I said, WPL. We are hoping that women's cricket also will benefit from with this kind of WPL coming in. But let's get back to IPL. IPL was introduced in 2008 and Indian cricket has never been the same again. What IPL did was it took cricket to the nook and corner of the country, into villages, into towns, into the smallest of towns, where not just cricket enthusiasts, but there were women folk, there were grandmothers, there were grandfathers, everybody was watching IPL. And that changed the entire ecosystem. Suddenly cricket has started coming from, virtually anywhere. Today an Indian cricketer can come from anywhere, believe me. Earlier, 2-3 tests, we saw Jaiswal. Jaiswal was from a small town in UP who moved to Mumbai, virtually lived in a tent before he hit it big. Now this is Akash Deep, coming from a small town in Bihar. These are not big towns, these are very small towns. Small town, I think its name is Beher or Deher, I can't even pronounce that name, in Bihar. And from there, he moved on to Calcutta, one of the bigger metros, and started playing. Now, likewise, when you look at the composition of the Indian team now, it is not like before when people came from well-to-do families or from a good background. When I say good background, I mean a comfortable economical background, not in any other sense. Today, they're coming from everywhere. Mohammad Siraj is the son of an auto rickshaw driver, and today he's one of the best fast bowlers we have. And if you look at Jadeja comes from a small town in Saurashtra. That town is near Jamnagar. That is his background, but he shot into fame. And you look at the entire ecosystem of the Indian cricket team now. It doesn't matter who it is. Virtually most of them, 80% of them, come from small towns, come from non-cricketing cities. Even Bumrah, for instance, Ahmedabad never had a great, cricket career, cricket history, but Bumrah came from there. So this is what IPL has done to Indian cricket. It's done to Indian sport. Of course, we can also look at other sports, but I don't want to touch too much on that. But we already know how the Neeraj Chopras and a whole lot of others came because of many schemes of the government of India. The TOP scheme, the Khelo India scheme, the Centre for Excellence, the Sports Authority of India. There are so many schemes now where you can virtually emerge from anywhere. You can go anywhere in the world to get trained. You can get the best of coaches if you are good, if somebody has chosen you. And you can make it, you can have a shot at the Olympic gold. That is the India today. And while we don't want to dwell on that, let's look at what has happened. The BCCI has got an infrastructure fund. And any cricket association affiliated to BCCI, if it wants to put up cricket infrastructure, the BCCI is there to fund that initiative. So virtually when you look around, every single association which is affiliated to BCCI has its own cricket stadium these days. Unlike in England and Australia, where the state builds the stadiums, in India, the Cricket Association, that is BCCI itself, funds and builds the stadiums. So when you look around, you have stadiums in Bihar, you have in Himachal Pradesh, you have in Kerala. I mean, you have many places where they were playing cricket so enthusiastically in the olden days. And that has made a lot of change. In Karnataka, for instance, there are so many stadiums now all over. And all these are world class stadiums. Absolutely brilliant. The ones at Hubli, it's floodlit. You can play a lot of good cricket there. There's Mysore, there's Shimoga, and a whole lot of them. And Karnataka State Cricket Association believes that no cricketer should travel to another district to get the infrastructure. All infrastructure should be available in his own district. They've not yet reached that level, but I'm sure they will in very short time. But this is what it has done. It has attracted the IPL and the telecast of the IPL, and the fact that many of these cricketers are coming from very humble backgrounds and from very small towns and villages. It's actually enthused everybody. It's enthused virtually in every town and village. The boys and girls want to play cricket. They want to see if they can make it big, and believe me, they are making it really big. There was just news that Jaiswal has bought a house worth 5 crores, which he couldn't even have dreamt of, let's say, about 10, 12 years ago. But this is what cricket has done for him. And likewise, there are a whole lot of others who would like not only to get into that position, but also to make good. Cricket has become a great leveler, and it's a great way to make a fortune. You may not be good in your studies, you may not be an outstanding student, but if you have a talent for the sport, and you're blessed and you're touched. See, when I say touched, is you need a lot of luck. Luck is absolutely important. Luck to be noticed, luck to be chosen, luck to get into the system. That's another thing. Once you get into a junior age system, into any of the states, if you get into the junior age system, let's say under 15, under 16 cricket, if you're able to get into that state team, then the system takes over. It nurtures you, it grooms you, it promotes you, and if you're lucky, you're right there at the top. Akash Deep maybe is the odd guy who didn't come through that system. But don't forget that he got into the India A team. And when he played India A team against England A, he had an outstanding time. He picked up, I think about 10 or 12 wickets he picked up in those 2 tests or 3 tests that he played. So that made a lot of difference. He was immediately noticed. And he is a guy who is in the thick of things. He is in his bowling rhythm, and he was picked for the test team, and he has performed wonderfully well. But my point here is, if you get into the age group of any of the state associations, then the system will take over and nurture you and promote you and groom you. Why this has happened is, yes, like I said, the IPL. So what has happened in the IPL is, besides the state associations, spotting, scouting, grooming talent, the IPL franchises are also on the lookout for fresh talent. They've got a whole lot of professional paid scouts who are going around into the various towns and villages, trying to spot the right bowler, right batsman who could embellish their team. In fact, Bumrah is one such person. He was picked up by John Wright from Mumbai Indians, and then you can see the difference that he has made. Not just to Mumbai Indians, but also to Indian cricket. And that is true of the whole lot of other boys, other girls who are coming from small towns and villages. So this has been a great day for Indian cricket, not because Akash Deep got 3 wickets, but the way he bowled. He showed that he was there, mentally prepared, temperamentally ideal, and that kind of thing doesn't come, just through training. You need training, you need exposure, you need match practice, but you also need a whole lot of self-belief and a coaching system which allows you to express that self-belief. So Akash Deep, Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, they're all the let's say the torch bearers of this generation who comes from small town and villages and move on to the big stage. And I'm sure in the coming days we will have lots more of these young boys and girls who will surge through, who will fight for a place in the team, and perhaps that could be their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So very interesting first day, to come back to the test match, very interesting first day. 302 for the loss of 7 wickets. The only problem is India has to bat last, and that's a worry. because we know in Indian pitches batting last is not a joke. So you need to get England out very quickly. And one great thing that we have noticed is England almost did away with the baseball. At least Joe Root. Joe Root played in classical Joe Root fashion. His unbeaten century was possible only because he didn't play those baseball shots. He didn't play those reverse sweeps. Maybe he played one at the most, two. But this was conventional Joe Root. Root respecting the bowler, hitting the bad balls, knocking the ball into the gaps, picking up his ones and twos. This was classical Joe Root. And this is how Test cricket is actually meant to be played. It's a battle between bat and ball. There might have been times when the bowlers were gone for runs, especially bowlers like Ashwin. Ashwin went for quite a few runs actually, which is very unlike Ashwin. But otherwise, this is exactly what England could have done in the earlier matches. Whether they have done away with baseball or just press the pause button, we don't know. But at this stage, it looks like at least one person, Joe Root, was playing in a fashion that demanded that he stays at the wicket and gathers runs as and when possible. And along with Folks, who also played brilliantly, he had a lovely partnership. I think it was about 113, 114 run partnership. And that is a partnership which really rescued them. And now the 8-wicket partnership with Ollie Robinson is an unbroken partnership. That's also a very crucial partnership for England. But India will be hoping that they'll be able to get rid of England very quickly tomorrow and then start batting again. The pitch is not bad, irrespective of what people say in the morning. Maybe there must have been a little bit of dampness and it must have helped. But it's not a bad pitch as Joe Root showed. If you could put your head down and play, you can still get a lot of runs. The challenges will come on the 4th day and the 5th day, and hopefully by then India will be up and away. So I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a great day's game, especially in the morning session. And let's see how it goes. I only hope that India do very well. Thank you. Good night.